Assalamu alaikum dear student. Today we are going to learn a remaining topic which we was not completed in previous video, and now we are going to learn the new paragraph. So let us start, give focus on further topic. The topic start from take him into the kitchen. Mr. Fishburne ordered the cook feed him first and then find some work for him. So Dick was given a home and a living. He had a small corner of attic to sleep in, and his job was to have the cook with all the pots and pans in the kitchen. Dick's life should have been much better than before, but he had two difficulties to face. The first was that the attic he slept in was overrun by rats and mice. At night they scampered all over him and kept him awake. After a time he solved this problem by saving the few pennies he was paid and buying himself a cat. In no time at all, the cat chases away all the rats and mice, and Dick was able to sleep peacefully. Means he solved his problem by rats and mice. And second paragraph, the other difficulties which was not so easy to overcome was the cook's bad temper. She shouted and screamed all days and would scold Dick and hit him with a wooden spoon, even when he was working as hard as he could. One night, Dick decided he could stand it no more. Early the next morning, before the cook was up, he set out with his cat to seek his fortune elsewhere. The two of them walked as far as Holloway on their way out of London. Then Dick sat down on a stone to rest. It was the 1st of November, All Saints' Day, and the church bell were ringing. As Dick sat and listened, it seemed they were ringing out of a message for him. Turn again, Whittington, dear worthy citizen, Lord Mayor of London. Lord Mayor of London's question, said Dick. I should like to be Lord Mayor and ride in a fine coach. I can't put up with a few scolding from the cook if that is what is in store for me. So Dick and his cat retraced their step to Mr. Fishburne's house. Luckily, they were able to sleep back before they had been missed. Now, Mr. Fishburne used to send sheep far across the sea to trade with other countries. He would load a ship with goods for the captain and ship's crew to sell in faraway place, and then they would bring back goods that could be sold at home. One day he called his household together. I am sending a ship to the Africa coast to trade, he said. Would any of you like to send something of your own it? You can then share in this profit if the voyage is successfully. Everyone produced something except for the Dick, who had nothing to hope for. Have you nothing of your own, Dick? Asked Mr. Fishburne kindly, and Dick replied, Only my cat. Then let your cat go on the ship, said Mr. Fishburne. His daughter, Alice, said, Dick loves his cat. Let me put something in for him. But her father said, No, it must be his, not something belonging to someone else. So Dick fetched his cat and said goodbye to it sadly. The captain of the ship was delighted, for the cat was an excellent mouser, and so he had no trouble with rats and mice on his voyage. After some months, the ship arrived at the place of the Africa coast, Barbary, where people called the Moors lived. The captain sent a message to the king to say that he had fine goods for sale and he was invited to the palace to show them. While he was talking to the king and queen, some dishes of foods were brought in, but almost immediately rats and mice ran up and before the captain's eyes at all the food. The captain was astonished and asked if this was what normally happened. Else, yes. Come the reply. The country is suffering from the plague of rats and mice, and we cannot get rid of them. I think I may have the answer of my ship, said the captain, and he sent a message asking for Dick's cat to be brought to the palace. More food was laid out, and the rats and mice appeared as before. The cat immediately punched, killing at least a dozen before they scattered. Everyone was delighted, and the queen asked, "What do you call this animal?" Puss is the name she answered to, said the captain. When the queen called, "Puss, Puss," the cat went over to her and purred. The queen was a little alarmed at first, as she had seen how fiercely the cat had attacked the rats and mice, but the captain told her not to be anxious. Puss is very friendly with people, he said, and would soon rid your kingdom of rats and mice. I would give great wealth to own this animal, said the queen. So that captain began bargaining, and it was agreed that the king would buy the whole cargo from Mr. Fitzwarren's ship to pay a fine price for it, and for the cat along the king paid 10 times the sum again. When the ships came back to the port of London, the captain showed Mr. Fitzwarren the gold and jewelries he had brought from Barbary and told him the story of the cat. The merchant sent for Dick. From now on, Dick, he said, we should all call you Mr. Whittington, for you are a rich man. Mr. Fitzwarren then paid him all the money the captain had received for the cat. From this time on, Dick worked with Mr. Fitzwarren and became a successful merchant himself. He married Mr. Fitzwarren's daughter, Alice, and 3 times he was elected Lord Mayor of London. He was also in time knighted by the king and became Sir Richard Whittington. He was not only famous, but he was popular too, for he always helped the poor with his money. Sometimes when he was old, he would tell his grandchildren the story of his cat and how the bells of London had called him back when he was only a poor boy. Turn again, Whittington, thou worthy citizen, Lord Mayor of London. So boys and girls, in this lesson, we learn about a character named Dick Whittington, who was so poor, means hardly he's trying to live his life. Before his parent died, he was no proper home. He decided he wanted to become a rich man because of villagers shouted at him, treated bad with him. So he found his way to the London for making rich man. Unfortunately, he got job in Mr. Frisburne's home. Mr. Frisburne is a merchant in sheep, and one day Mr. Frisburne called the meeting in his home and announced anyone want to send something to the Africa? Everyone give something, and Dick gave his cat to Mr. Fishburne, captain, and they started their journey to Africa. As soon as they reach at Africa, in Africa, they want to sell their goods, but King did not want to purchase all the goods. But suddenly, the captain see that on his table there was so many mice and rats there and where. They are disturbing. They are problem for the king. And suddenly the idea comes in the mind of captain. King, I have a question from you. I have solution of your problem. Captain said to the king. I will solve your problem in one condition. If you purchase all the material from our ship, then I will solve your problem. And king said that, firstly, you solve my problem, then I will think about this. And captain brought the cat in the palace. As soon as the cat see all the mice and rats, the cat attack all the mice. The cat eats and kills dozens of mice and rats there. This appearance looked by the queen and king. Queen was so scared from this behavior of cat, and when she reached near of the cat animal, means the cat, she called, what is the name of this animal? The captain replied, the name of this animal is Puss. And she called with kindly, come here, Pussy, come here. The puss came at queen, and she purchased all the material of the ship and also the cat, and they paid lot of gold and jewelry to the captain, and captain came back to the London and show all the gold and silver to the Mr. Fishburne, and the captain explained the story of cat, what happened in Africa. And then Mr. Fishburne married her daughter with Dick, and Dick became the popular and rich in London. Unfortunately, he also became the mayor of the London. He was telling this story his children, grandchildren of cat and his luck. If he will not return to home, he will not become rich. Now, as he was, as he is not today. In this story, we learn that in our life there was a lot of problem, but we should not be run from this problem. We should face this problem. If we will face the problem, inshallah, in one day we will solve our problem, and we will gradually come out and come over on our problem, and one day we will success, inshallah. So boys and girls, thank you for reading it and watching this video. In next video we will explain the difficult words of difficult meaning in this and in next video. Yet then